Hi, this is Stacia, and today I'm going to share an online tournament game that I played on leechess.org. This is part of the Tuesday Tussle, and I faced Denny Helmuth. This is my 5th time facing him. He's a player that is rated in the 1700s, and I'm rated in the 1600s. But I do have a plus score against him right now. So hoping to maintain that this game. Okay, this is also the first time I have white against him. I had black 4 games in a row. Okay, let's take a look at the game. I opened with the move 1e4, and he played c5. And this is an interesting decision actually because Denny Helmuth comes from the same IM blocker school that I come from. So we both play the Smith-Morra Gambit. But I decided to go for it anyway, and I was really curious how he would handle it. So he took, I played c3, and he kind of chickened out. No, I'm just kidding. This is a good decision. Knight f6, although I was expecting, some crazy defense to the Morra Gambit. This is more comfortable for both of us, I'd say. So I played d5. This is the normal move, just kicking the knight. He jumped to d5, and now I played knight f3. Notice that black shouldn't take the pawn here because they would lose the knight. That pawn is pinned. So he went e6. And this is the first move that threw me off because I was expecting knight c6. This one's the second most common move, and it looks interesting. e6 opens up that light square bishop. So bishop g4 becomes possible, and he also attacks the e-pawn. So I thought a while here, to be honest. I guess we'll see just how long. 2 minutes. And I played bishop c4. Oh, so sorry. Been sneezing lately, allergies. Okay, so I'm threatening to take the knight, and possibly after this move, I could take back with the knight attacking f7. I thought this is kind of interesting, And if he played, well, he has to do something about the knight. But there's also ideas of if bishop g4, check. And then this kind of stuff too. And the queen would win the bishop. So trickiest move, I thought, bishop c4. So he had to move his knight though. He put it on b6, so I played bishop b3. And I think this position, is pretty much equal. Not even sure if white has an edge. Kind of don't think so. So okay, knight to c6. Yeah, now I have to decide what to do, and it's not easy because I don't necessarily want a queen trade to happen. But on the other hand, what else can I really do? I guess I could play this move. I considered this, but I was like, why help him get his queen off the back row? After the game, Michael Jolson said then I could do this kind of thing. He plays the c3 Sicilian all the time. And so the queen is not necessarily well placed there. So you can play that move. So I might do that next time. Instead, I played here. And this is still fine. And I was expecting d takes e5, which was played. And now I think I need to take with, well, I could play d5. I was definitely looking at this move. Like I thought if here and here. Let's see. I might even be able to just take this, I thought. Turns out that's true. Or I could play knight c3, defending the pawn. Doesn't defend it. Oh, it does defend it enough. So, yeah, you know what? I kind of like this. But I'm down a pawn right now, right? I was going to play this if I went in this line. It says e6. I was just looking at this fork, but luckily I have this nice bishop guarding that. But anytime you trade queens and go into a queenless middle game, these fork ideas become really prominent. That's something I've noticed. So like knights stationed to take advantage of that can often move with tempo. Yeah, computer says just play knight c3 here and knight 4 takes d5, it says, like this. So this game is still equal from here, but this is a little more interesting. And the queens are still on, so I kind of like this better than what happened in the game. So d5 is certainly a consideration for next time. Instead, I took with the knight. I thought if I take with a pawn, I thought this might be annoying. I guess I could take with the bishop, because if I take with the king and I allow this pin, then I think I'm in trouble. Let's see if that's true. And this looks totally unnatural anyway, but I just want to see. Computer likes bishop f5. Okay, so I guess my idea is not that good. It wants bishop b3. Yeah, we're not afraid of this. I guess we're not afraid of this, it says knight c3. We don't care about this either. Like we're just giving away pawns, the computer doesn't care. It says white's winning. I'm trying to understand why. King e2 comes with tempo. Knight to e5. Knight b5. See? These forks always become prominent. Huh, so now we get our play. This is kind of cool because a normal defense might be here, but this pawn hangs, and then the knight also hangs. SF check. Yeah, there's a lot of play here for white. Okay, this is interesting. So white's better here. We're just fully activated. It's hard for me to understand that when I'm analyzing these lines during a game. I did not see that. Okay. So I took with a knight. I just thought this is better. Turns out it's really not because of those lines we looked at, but okay, so now he can take my knight and trade queens, and that is what he elected to do. So we got a queenless middle game here. And I wouldn't say that white's better. I didn't think so. We both have the two bishops. I do have a pawn stationed on e5, but it's kind of hard to know if that pawn is good or weak. I'm not sure. f4 looks weakening. I wouldn't say I'm better developed either. So it's even. He played bishop to d7 to start. But this, you know, anytime someone moves their bishop from the starting square, you should always look at the knight pawn, because he undefended it. It's blockaded by its own knight. And I think he was intending this move. So I played bishop f3, take advantage of all that. So I think that's a good move. And here, yeah, let's see. Rook b8 is kind of a sad move. So he didn't play that. Computer says only the slightest of edges for white after that move, though. So he played rook c8 with a small threat of check. There, win my rook. Okay, so I wasn't going to allow that, so I played knight to c3. This seems fine. And he went knight to c4. I saw this move coming because it is interesting. The thing is, if I take on b7, which I did, by the way, then rook b8 can happen. and he's actually threatening my b pawn. The other thing is that if he takes the b pawn, my knight will be hanging. So it's hard for me to move my bishop. If I go here, he takes. I don't know. So, you know, I'm not really a pawn grabber, but when the position demands it and it's the best move, I will do it. And I reasoned that's the case here. So I grabbed this pawn. I calculated these lines and I thought, you know, he needs to win back a pawn now, one of these. Otherwise, he's worse. So he thought a long time here. Let's see how long. Wow, 11, almost 12 minutes, he thought. Yeah, I was kind of like surprised. That's like what? That's something I would do, but I would call that time mismanagement. This can't be that critical of a decision, but I could be wrong. All right. Well, computer says both moves are about equal. I was expecting rook b8, but rook c7, I also looked at because it maintains, you know, it eyes my knight. So then this move becomes possible. My bishop's attacked, so I moved it to e4. I also thought about bishop a6. Okay, he played e6 here. Now, I was expecting him to take, but then bishop f4, and if f6, I mean, I could probably take here. I'm not sure about this though because he has the two bishops. Computer says slight edge for white, but I might actually leave the pin and see if I could do something with that. Yeah, computer likes rook c1 now. The rook is not undefended there, by the way. And then it wants king f7. The only tragedy is I don't have a way to attack the pinned piece, because that's what I want to do. But I can't. So yeah, computer wants to take this now. Okay, play the pawn structure. You know, he has weakened pawns. We're going to try to win one. Okay, so I don't think he liked these lines, and that's why he played e6. So he's stopping that. But now I have time to play f4. So he's not going to win this pawn now. I defended it. But here was his idea coming soon. Bishop b4. He's got play now. So this is like gambit style for him at the moment, where I'm up a pawn, but he has more initiative, more pressure. I played king e2 here. I know this looks crazy, but my king's pretty safe actually. And yeah, if he did this, I wasn't that afraid of this because I have the two bishops now, and I think I can just step out of this. I thought it's not, even a4 is possible, computer says, but I thought even this move is fine. Like, I'm not, my king is not going to get killed or anything. And he, you know, he shouldn't give up the two bishops for that because that's nothing. So king e2 is safe, I thought. Yeah, and he did kind of surprise me with this move. I was like, wait, what? I mean, I kind of saw this idea earlier, but not in this exact moment. And I was like, uh-oh. But I think I'm fine here. And in fact, it's a risky move by him because his king is still in the center, his rook's in the corner. So I'm almost fully coordinated here. And he didn't grab a piece, he grabbed a pawn, which I was up a pawn. So I thought a minute here. And I did go with this move because after bishop takes, I wanted to stick a rook on c1 and pin the bishop. Now I did see that he has bishop a5, retreating the bishop and guarding the rook. It's a common maneuver that happens to get out of pins. I think he saw this too, otherwise he wouldn't have done it. But now he cannot take my bishop because that would lose. So he threw in this check. I think that's probably the best move. I'm going to check with the computer. Yeah, it agrees. And the reason I think so is because I think the king wants to go to d7. So it's a clearance move. It's clearance with tempo. And this is probably my one misstep of the game. I kind of reflexively blocked. And I thought, you know, if you want to help my king come up to the center, you're more than welcome to do that. But it turns out the computer says I have to play like king f3, which I don't fully understand. King e3 also good. I did consider this move. But I was scared with the two bishops and the rook around. I was kind of scared to have my king exposed. So that's why I traded a pair of bishops. But it just turns out that even though I have a slight edge in this line, which did happen, it's tough to make much out of it. You'll see what I mean. All right, so bishop a5, offering a trade of rooks. I took him up on that because it doesn't help him untangle necessarily. And now I bring my rook in. I can bring my rook into c1 if I want. Yeah, but I played this move. It's a tempo on his pawn. So he moved it. And then I played rook to b1. I thought this is my best chance because, okay, just if I play normal here, rook c1, I thought king d7. And next his rook is coming out. Likely we will trade. Pawn structure symmetrical. I have a more active king, but it looks very even. I might have the slightest edge, but... So I went for this because now I can play rook b7 and get this pin. And I thought, I didn't see a way to exploit it, but I thought there might be one if I play this way. He surprised me with this move. I thought he would play rook c8. And after rook c8, I could play here. And this is how I thought it would go. And this is better for white. But Denny is slippery. He played this move, which is better. So now he's threatening check, discover check, or I'm sorry, it's not even check, but... Oh yeah, because if I go to attack the pinned piece, now this is a fork. So I lose. So I played king c4, stepping out of the way and moving my king further up. Now I thought he played king c6, attack the rook. Here I was planning rook a7. But I'm really glad I didn't play it. Because at this point, if rook a7, I actually did see that he has this move. Check, takes, check. Black wins. But the sad thing is that because of this tactic, I can't play rook a7, which is the best try for me to attack that pawn. Because I was thinking, you know, if I go here, he does not have this move. He doesn't have this. Like, it's hard for him to improve. But unfortunately, he does have this. So, my rook's attacked and I have to move it. So, rook b3. But even though this is the best move, I think any advantage I had is gone now. That pin is gone. His king marched up. His rook is active. So, it's just equal. And sure enough, I'll show you the rest of the game. Hard to do much. He attacked my pawn, I defended it. His rook is outposted on d5, and that's a very strong square for the rook. So I actually felt like I was at the worst side of this draw. I'm defending and I have slightly more space, but yeah, here we agreed to a draw. So, well, it was draw by repetition. So interesting game. I'm happy about the way I played this. I don't think I made any big mistakes, but let's just look at what I could have done better. I actually think bishop c4 is just fine there. I might even play that again. Here, I might take this way next time. I like that idea of takes, knight c3. And once I like those ideas of knight b4. So I would play for that next time. But this was a queenless middle game, and I am happy about the way I played it. I think bishop f3 was precise. Knight c3. I think taking the pawn was the right decision. f4 is the right decision. I like that king e2 move as well. I navigated this part of the game just fine. Yeah, and this is probably the one major change I would make, is I would play king e3 here and not allow this trade of bishops. It's the only way to play for a win. Because after this, I actually like my idea of playing for this pin. If he played rook c8, I may have won this game. But he did find rook d8 better move. Yeah. But thankfully I saw that tactic or I would have lost. So there you go. It was a draw. So I hope you enjoyed this game and learned something from it. This is Stacia, and I'll be back with more chess. Thank you, and see you next time.